Let's dive right into this explainer where we're going to take the ancient wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and map it directly onto the laws of physical motion. Specifically, we're looking at chapter 14, verse 15, and viewing these thousands of years old concepts through a super tangible lens, Newtonian mechanics. Have you ever had one of those days, or honestly maybe even years, where you feel like you're just spinning your wheels, moving incredibly fast but getting absolutely nowhere? Or maybe the exact opposite, where you feel so completely stuck in a rut that you can't even muster the energy to start. Well, this framework is going to completely change how you view those feelings, your daily habits, and where they're ultimately taking you. Because this reframes spirituality. It takes it from being some mystical, abstract concept and turns it into a highly practical question of where your daily habits are actually accelerating you. Think about it. Every thought you have, every action you take, every random desire that pops into your head, they aren't just isolated fleeting moments. They are literal forces acting upon you in a physical sense. They are building a real trajectory. And the fundamental question this source material poses is, do you actually know where that momentum is taking you? To figure that out, we're going to break this down into 6 logical steps. 1. The physics of karma. 2. Tamas, or inertia. 3. Rajas, which is psychological acceleration. 4. Sattva, the intelligent direction. 5. Our trajectory after death. And 6. The daily mirror. So step 1, the physics of karma, mapping physical motion to our spiritual trajectory. You probably remember this from high school physics, right? A stationary body stays put until a force acts on it. Once it starts moving, it possesses momentum. And if a force continues to act in that exact same direction, the object doesn't just move, it actively accelerates. Well, according to these ancient texts, the exact same thing is happening inside our minds. Just like a boulder rolling down a hill, your mind develops a powerful psychological momentum based entirely on your repeated thoughts and actions. Now, the crucial point here is that just doing work isn't the problem. Action itself is necessary. Even a highly spiritual person has to perform daily actions. The sticky part is what the texts call karma sanga, a deep, heavy attachment to the action and its results. When you catch yourself thinking, I absolutely must win this argument, or I desperately need this promotion for my status, you aren't just acting, you're attaching your entire identity to the fruit of that action. That attachment is the continuing force that creates that sticky momentum. It's honestly like trying to run a sprint while wearing shoes covered in superglue. You're generating a ton of force, but the attachment makes the resulting momentum incredibly heavy and super hard to break out of. Which brings us to section 2, Tamas, the inertia and the foundational base of resistance. In physics, we call it inertia. In the mind, it's tamas. And look, tamas is way more than just taking a nap or feeling a bit lazy on a Sunday afternoon. The sources describe it as a psychological inertia, where our inner clarity is actively covered up, a state called aprakash. It brings on aprafriti, meaning a total lack of effort to do what you're supposed to do. It involves deep heedlessness and delusion. It's that feeling when you know exactly what you should be doing, but this heavy fog just prevents you from even starting. It's the energy that essentially turns you into a human paperweight, totally resistant to any positive movement. Now, we do need tamas. It provides our stable physical base, and we absolutely need it to sleep and recover. But when it becomes the dominant force in your psychological landscape, the trajectory of your life pulls straight downward. If this inertia takes over, we become totally stuck. We're constantly procrastinating, trapped in delusion, and our spiritual and psychological direction inevitably and heavily sinks. Moving right along to step 3, psychological acceleration and the engine of desire and action. This is the force that violently breaks us out of that inertia and propels us forward. And it beautifully illustrates a reinforcing loop. It starts simply enough. A desire arises. I want this thing. That desire provides the initial spark, the force for an action. The action yields a result, but crucially, it doesn't stop there. That result sparks an even bigger desire, leading to more action, leading to bigger results, and so on. This is the core of Rajas. It's a continuous, endlessly accelerating loop that builds massive, heavy attachment with every single cycle. Do this enough, and you aren't just moving anymore. You are rapidly accelerating your conditioning. With every repeated ambition, every time you chase a new goal purely for the reward, you are carving incredibly deep grooves into your personality. You're generating massive forward momentum. But remember, Momentum without a map is just going fast. It's exactly like being a hamster on a high-speed wheel. You are putting in a ton of effort. The wheel is spinning furiously, but you aren't actually navigating toward a meaningful destination. And that brings us to part 4, sattva, intelligent direction, the steering wheel for our energy. Because energy alone is incredibly dangerous without something to guide it. It's vital to understand that rajas itself isn't bad. We need it to get out of bed, to study, to serve others, and to build great things. But it desperately requires sattva's wisdom, often called vivek, to turn that chaotic acceleration into purposeful progress. Rajas alone is endless running. It's blind ambition and a guaranteed recipe for burnout. But rajas combined with sattva, that becomes intelligent, purposeful action directed by profound clarity.
So, put it all together, and we get this brilliantly simple physical motion model for the human mind. Tamas provides the foundational base, the inertia. Rajas acts as the engine, providing massive psychological acceleration. And sattva acts as the steering wheel, providing intelligent direction. Without sattva's steering wheel, rajas is literally just a high-powered sports car with a brick on the gas pedal, accelerating rapidly in the completely wrong direction.
Section 5. Trajectory after death. Where exactly does all this momentum go? This is where the physics model applies directly to Bhagavad Gita chapter 14, verse 15. It reveals what happens to all this built-up psychological momentum when the physical body finally stops functioning. According to the framework, when the body's machinery breaks down at death, the velocity you've built up over a lifetime isn't simply reset to zero. The universe doesn't just hit a pause button. Instead, that accumulated trajectory seamlessly transfers to a compatible environment in the next life. If sattva intelligently steered you, the trajectory is upward to pure realms. If tamas weighed you down with inertia, it's a downward trajectory. But look at rajas right there in the middle. The texts say you are reborn among karma sanjishu, people deeply, obsessively attached to action and results. Let's ground this massive concept in a really concrete example. Imagine a lifetime of chasing money, chasing status, constantly comparing yourself to others. Over decades, that creates massive rajasic acceleration. When that life ends, that momentum aggressively seeks a matching field to continue its motion. You aren't just reborn as a generic workaholic in a vacuum. You are placed precisely among people who will foster, encourage, and continue your established karmic momentum. You're born into a family obsessed with competition, perfectly matching the speed, the anxiety, and the direction of the trajectory you spent your whole previous life building. Finally, part 6, the daily mirror, judging ourselves, not others. Why does all this ancient cosmology and physics matter for us, right now, on a random Tuesday morning? It matters because this text isn't just theory, it's a diagnostic tool. The Gita provides this physics model of the gunas not so we can go around diagnosing our spouses or judging our coworkers. It provides it as a mirror to honestly evaluate where our own energy is being spent. You can literally ask yourself these questions every single day. Are you feeling heavy, procrastinating, lacking clarity? That's tamas pulling you down. Are you endlessly running after goals but feeling deeply anxious about the results? That's rajas, accelerating wildly out of control. Or are you acting with steady purpose and clear intention? That is sattva holding the wheel. Because your ultimate destination isn't magically decided in the last 5 seconds of your life. It is being built right now, day by day, habit by habit, by the unrelenting momentum of your daily choices. Every single action is a force applied to the trajectory of your consciousness. So taking a close look at the energies driving you today, where are you steering?